Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 20 of Conscious Caregiver Conversations. I am jumping in a little earlier this week, and that is primarily because Samantha and I are playing with time a little bit. As you've probably gleaned if you have tuned into our other episodes, she does have young children, and they wake up pretty early in the morning because, of course, we are in the evening here in the United States, Eastern Standard Time, but she is in Australian time, and it is Thursday morning for her when we do these lives, and they live in a small farmhouse, and it is difficult for her to hop on when her kids are awake because they, of course, are needing their mom's attention. So we're playing around with times a little bit. We're probably going to try the 5:30 time frame in the future, but I figured today it's actually just going to be me, and it's probably going to be a little shorter message today, a little shorter conversation, because I don't have my counterpart with me. But what I wanted to talk with y'all about today is the fact that I am now on day 3 of the work week, if you will, of no longer being at my previous place of employment. My last day was last Friday, and I have been off these last several days and will be off from work until I start my new job on April 22nd. And what I wanted to talk about within that realm is how when we become so consumed with our work, when our work takes up so much space in our lives, it starts to become our identity. And even as a nurse who works 3 shifts a week, those of you who are watching and you work bedside and you work 3 shifts a week, we often make nursing and the work that we do in the hospital and the work that we do as a nurse our identity. And what this can result in is a little bit of an identity crisis. And I actually found over the last couple of days, no longer being at my previous place of employment, no longer being in that job, having the same responsibilities, having so much of my time consumed, because as a nursing leader, you truly are on all of the time. It is typically a salaried role. You have a lot of competing priorities. You have a lot going on outside of normal working hours. Sometimes your place of employment has you doing volunteer work in the evening, on the weekends, etc. And it really, it becomes all consuming. It really does. And this is an important point to note because we begin to identify solely with that part of us, but that's not all of who we are. And to be completely honest with y'all, I actually have been going through a little bit of an identity crisis because I'm realizing that over the last 2.5 years, so much of what I did and who I was and who I be was wrapped up in being a nursing leader and all of the responsibilities associated with the hospital. And when I left that chapter behind and prepared to move into this next chapter, I was kind of twiddling my thumbs a little bit. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, who am I? Who am I outside of this nursing role? Who am I outside of nursing leadership? I don't know what to do with myself. And even though I kind of do know what to do with myself because I have these conversations and I have this business and I have this mission of bringing consciousness to healthcare and all of these different things, it's truly amazing how we just become what is taking so much of our time, and we forget about all of these other valuable aspects and valuable qualities and things that really light a fire under us, that we really enjoy. I mean, there is so much about me that goes way above and beyond my job. And even though I love what I do, and even though I love being a nurse, there's so much more to Jenna than just being a nurse. You know, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm an aunt, I'm a friend, I'm a musician, I'm a singer, I'm a performer. I have all of these other things. I'm a CEO, right? I have a business. I have a mission that I want to pour into. I do copywriting. I love complementary therapies, right? I'm an energetic alchemist. I'm an author. I'm all of these other things. But this one aspect was so consuming that when it was gone, when it was a part of my past, when that chapter was over, it was like, had a little bit of an identity crisis. And I really had to mourn that part of me. There was a part of me that was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? Like, did I make the right choice? Was that, should I have done that? You know, like, just all of these different thoughts, and there's nothing wrong with them. That's okay, because when we step into new chapters and we know that there's other things that are calling us, and there are other things that we're meant to do, and new ways that we're going to show up, there was still that previous version, that previous chapter that we get to pay homage to, and we get to mourn a little bit, you know? And I just think that is so important, but it's also a testament to the fact that we can become so consumed with one aspect of our lives that we truly abandon the other things that we love and enjoy and that have meaning for us. And it could be activities, it could be experiences, it could be places, it could be people. But it's so important for us to remember that there's so much more to us than just our career, than just a job. And you don't want to discard those things. You don't want to abandon them. They're a part of who you are. They are a part of what makes up your unique blueprint. And so what I just want to invite you to do as I wrap up this topic on the whole idea of having an identity crisis and becoming consumed or identifying with just one aspect of ourselves is, who are you outside of nursing? Who are you outside of healthcare? Who are you outside of your job, whether you're working at the bedside or you're a nurse leader or any type of leader? I really want to invite you to reflect on who you were even before you became a nurse. Again, for me, I was a singer, I was a musician, I was an actress, I was a horseback rider, I did karate. Like, there are so many other pieces of me that make up the blueprint that is Jenna. And there's so much more to you than just your job. So I really invite you to take some time to reflect on that and think about, who are you outside of just your job? Who are you outside of being a nurse? And after you've taken some time to reflect on that, think about if there's anything that you came up with that you miss doing, that you once enjoyed and would love to pick back up again, because that's important. That makes up who you are. You're not just a nurse, you're not just a respiratory therapist, a physical therapist, any kind of healthcare worker. You are so much more. And if there's anything that you've realized that you've abandoned, I really encourage you to get back into those things, because it is an important piece of who you are. It is your unique blueprint, and it's meant to be expressed to the world. So with all that being said, that's really all I have this week, is just think about who you are outside of healthcare, because there's so much more to each of us than just what we do for a job. Even if we love that job, even if that job is our passion, there's more to you than just that. And they are super, super important ingredients to the recipe that is who you are. Have a great week, and we'll see y'all next week. Possibly. I will actually be out of town visiting my parents, but if I can, Sam and I will jump on next week to do another episode of Conscious Caregiver Conversations. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Love ya.